Over to you, Tori.
Thank you, Vilal. Very, very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining. As a long-awaited topic to be discussed, I would say. So, in today's rapidly evolving digital landscape, staying ahead means embracing innovation. Welcome to our event on adapting the digital age, how AI is reshaping learning and development initiatives. Join us as we explore the transformative power of AI in revolution, education, and professional development. From personalized learning experience to AI driven content creation, we will cover the latest trends and opportunities shaping the future of learning. Get ready to deep dive into the discussion, gaining insights from industry experts and discover actionable strategies to thrive into digital era. Let's embark on this journey together towards a smarter, more adaptive approach to learning and development. Before we delve into our discussion, let's meet our esteemed speakers who will bring wealth or who brings wealth of knowledge and expertise to today's event. So let me welcome first Mr. Mukesh Kataria. Hi, sir. Um, he is the head of learning and development with QualityKiosk, with over 25 years of experience in IT education and training. His leadership in managing learning operation for 70,000 employees and driving emerging technologies trend has earned him accolades as one of the 101 most iconic L&D leaders and 100 most impactful L&D leaders. So amazing, so I think Mukesh expertise is content development and his passion for digital age learning make him a trailblazer in this field. Welcome, welcome to the event. Thank you. So let's move to our next speaker, Mr. Rajat Sanan. Hi, Rajat. Rajat is a
Hi
head.
everyone.
Rajat Rajat is a head of learning and development as SG Analytics, bringing over 20 years of enriching experience in training and development. Rajat visionary strategies and digital learning have made him a key player in reshaping learning and development initiatives. With his expertise into different domains like sales, banking, and edtech, Rajat is a versatile leader recognized for his contribution to managerial effectiveness and productivity enhancement. Get ready to gain insight from his award winning career, I would say, an innovative approach to leveraging AI and learning. Welcome, Rajat, to the event.
Thank you, Theorin.
And finally, introducing Mr. Shiva. Shiva Unnikrishnan. We are honored to have you, Shiva, a distinguished HR leader currently heading talent and development, learning and development, I would say, more at Godrej Infotech. With over 13 years of experience and a track record of driving business excellence from HR initiative, Shiva brings unparalleled expertise to the table, recognized as top 100 HR leader under age of 40 by John Bay, a top 30 young HR leader by People Business at TAP MI. Shiva's insight on leveraging AI for talent management and leader L&D strategies are invaluable. Let's welcome Shiva as he shares his award-winning expertise with us and guiding us through in his enlightenment discussion. And you know, I would look forward to hear from all of you. Welcome, Shiva.
Thank you for that introduction.
And above all, I think without a moderator, nothing goes ahead. So let's welcome our moderator, Mr. Vilal Kutty. He's the head of technology at EduRamp Learning Services Private Limited, with 17 years of experience of IT and expertise in Azure Cloud and Microsoft Private Cloud. Vilal is a certified professional dedicated to fostering a culture of continuous learning. His proficiency in DevOps practice and passion for harnessing AI technologies ensure seamless collaboration between development and operation teams. Vilal's commitment to staying current in the dynamic landscape of IT, driven by his passion for AI-driven innovation, makes him perfect moderator to facilitate engaging discussions and valuable insights at our event. Now, without wasting a single minute, over to you, Vilal. You can take this ahead from here.
Thank you very much, Toral, for that wonderful introduction. And I would like to say that you are a dot on time with respect to completing the entire thing. Okay, so we'll start with the things. Okay, we'll start with the things. Thank you very much, Toral, and welcome all the panelists as well as all the attendees who have been into this particular session. So the best part that we are going to have it in this session is that we are going to talk about artificial intelligence. The moment we talk about artificial intelligence, to be very precise, we think like, we are talking about some sci-fi movie or something like that. Okay, things like start generating things. Okay, a brain power which is working behind your digital assistants. Okay, well, whether it is a recommendation of the Netflix movies or the series that you are watching, or whether it is recommendation on the weather part of it, we all are driven through AI, and AI is not new. AI is there in the industry from a long time. In my college days, I used to, read about AI, but at that time, I used to think that will this happen? But fortunately, today we have so much of data that we can do those things. We can work on those areas and we can get the things, and we are leveraging out of AI like anything. Okay. But here we are more focused into, to understand our world of learning and development with our esteemed panelists, that how it is going to develop and how it is going to work. Okay. That's what we are going to see in this particular event of adapting the digital age powered by EduRamp. Okay, so we're going to start with, first question that I would like to ask is to Mr. Mukesh. Mukesh sir, I would like to ask this first question to you because, it's a buzzword in the market. AI is like a buzzword in the market. The moment I had discussion with you, I was always having this question within my mind that, okay, I have to ask this to sir. Okay, so AI is emerging. It's a beacon. It's a buzzword in the market. That's all true. Okay, but how you envision AI shaping our world and influencing our life in the coming years, sir?
Thank you, Vidal, and good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here on this panel with my co-panelist. It's an extreme pleasure to have all of you together. I think rightly said, artificial intelligence is everywhere, and you can see the AI changing the field of retail business, medical business. In fact, you name the industry and AI is making a transformation there. If you were on, let's say, Amazon or a Flipkart, there's a concept called dynamic pricing. How many people are looking for the product? How much stock is there available? And this happens in fractions of seconds. So there's no human intervention or any human intervention, even if it has to be, will be too late to make any change in the pricing based on demand and supply, which changes in fraction of seconds. So tools like AI and AI-enabled tools are making all this possible. You can experience this in all walks of your life. Even if you want to book a cab to go from a place A to a B, depending on how many cabs are free, at which location you are, how many more people are looking for a similar cab on a similar route, the pricing can change dynamically. All what I'm saying is AI has become a part of life. It's not that AI is going to impact, it's already impacted. We are all living in the AI world. Some of us realize, some of us don't realize because it's like a second nature to us. Commenting on what Vilal, you also said, I think the rapid development and proliferation of AI, purely I see because of two reasons. I think a lot of data is available to all of us, and we all know about big data. You can add a chip to almost anything. For example, I'm sitting on the chair and you can add a chip to the chair and it starts generating data for you. How much time the chair was used, how much time it was not used, what was the weight, how many times it moved to the left, to the right, and then AI can do a lot of analytics on the chair. So that's a very small example. I'm not sure people are going to do that. But what I'm trying to bring in is There's huge amount of data available. Compute power has become easily available. I think in earlier days, people used to wait for fast processors. But with advent of cloud and cloud related technologies, you can get a compute power very easily and provision it on the go. I think that's what is making rapid provisioning and rapid proliferation and growth of AI, that it is touching all parts of life. There's a long way to go. AI has a huge potential to disrupt many more things. And I think the day is not far away. And I've heard this from many other leaders as well. Like electricity, it's going to be anywhere and everywhere. And people cannot think of living without an electricity. You will only appreciate electricity for those 10 minutes when it's gone. As long as it's running, you will not appreciate it. So AI is going to be all pervasive general purpose technology. That's my view on that, Vilal.
Super, sir. Gives us an insight because yes, absolutely what you have said is correct. It is like, electricity, we value electricity when it is not there. So AI, if once this goes from our life and then how we are going to talk on these things, it's very difficult. If I talk to my kid right now and I say that, when we used to study, there was no Google, they are not able to understand that how without Google you studied. Okay, so that's the thing, how it is going to happen. And for AI also, the things are going in the same way. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for that insight. Shiva, I would like to come to you for my next question. Shiva, I would like to understand, we are in the ever evolving landscape of learning and development. It's an ever evolving landscape. Things change, things develop, things are going on to different directions. And AI is emerging as a fascinating hero in every sector. Okay, so has this fascinating hero to do anything in learning and development, that we are going to understand? But I would like to know it from you that, what is the current state of AI adoption in learning and development initiatives? Can you just put some light on that?
I'll tell it to the personal experience. So when we implemented an LMS, right? And immediately after implementing an LMS, the next thing was LXP and LPP, driven by AML, right? So I think last 5 years I'm hearing AI ML integration or even try to implement it in the form of LXP and LPP, where you have AI ML generating has data source in the form of data that is inherited in the LMS. It serves data that can also be fed in maybe in terms of the KRAs and roles of in the individual employee or the competency. The AML identifies the competency gap of that employee and throws you a content, right? But I have not seen it working till now. I've been doing it for 8 years now after implementing. Give an example. What I have identified is if I'm looking at a technology competency gap, right? If I, so example, if let's just take a common language SQL, right? And if he's at level one and the employee, the individual has scored 80 percentile and there is a 20 percentile gap in the knowledge. So the data source with that particular function technology competence is ready, and then I throw a level two, right? Now, what do you do in terms of behavioral? If the competency identified is the gap identified is team management, so does it say that AI recommends a course on team conflict and conflict management, and you will learn from it, right? So that is the difference. So AI may recommend competence, may recommend data, may recommend the exact source of learning, but it may not do the justice that it is supposed to be unless you have curated content within the organization and you understand the pulse in terms of behavioral and technology. The more I see AI is actually more in terms of learning and development, it has leveraged content creators. You know why? Because then content creators sell us content in the form of SCOM 1.2, 1.4x API, where they curate content in terms of simulation, push and play, plug and play. For them, it is less work. For them, they earlier had content creator authoring tools and that freelancers who work on it and then create content. Now they just do an AI on it and then they get it. So more than helping learning and development, in my experience, have seen content creators for learning. It is leverage will help them, right? So I'm where I say so. In my opinion, AI term is there, but also as leaders, also I have not had the maturity or even the experience in practical sense that I have been able to adopt AI and ML, and I've used and I've seen its ROI, right? That human element, till I do not curate content or content with respect to my own company, my own function, my own people, my own KRA, my own domain, I don't see any effect. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So that is Shiva's view with respect to the things, because Shiva is he said that he has been working into, last 8 years he has put a lot of efforts and a lot of things to be working in different areas. Okay. But Rajat, what's your view on this?
So thanks, Bilal. And Shiva, I do agree with you, the view that you have about the usage of AI. And I also did the same thing. I have also been implementing LMSs and LXPs. And we all know, while we are implementing those LMSs, LXPs in the backend, we have to do the curation. We do say that the AI is working, but the AI also needs that instruction as to what needs to be done and what needs to be curated. And yes, I will agree with your point, Vilal, that when we think about AI, we think about Hollywood movies like Transformers and our Eliminator, and we think that the machines will take over, and that's where we have the fear. But if I talk about the L&D landscape today, AI has become very integral in addition to the LXPs and everything that has been there. And now it is also again content creation, adding to Shiva's points. Now, even the L&D professionals, all of us, we may be in a content role, we may be in a sales leadership role, we may be anywhere. We are utilizing AI for developing and building new content. So AI is definitely there. It is like the, as we say, industry 4.0. The first revolution was the agricultural, the second one was your steam, third was the computer. This is the fourth revolution, and AI plays a very critical role in that. So that is going to be here, and this is the future. It is also to do with the fact that the way the society is evolving. If you look at the society, thanks to COVID, we have these individuals who don't want to go anywhere, who don't want to interact with people. So AI again plays a good role over there. I don't know if you all got that opportunity to see that video of Shashi Tharoor conversationing with his own AI version. And you actually cannot differentiate that which one is the real Shashi Tharoor. So that is the thing that is going to come into future. So definitely it is quite relevant for L&T, because if we are not using AI, then we are missing out on the bus. So everybody wants to be on that bus. So that is the future. That is AI.
Bilal,
Bilal, you are on
mute.
mute.
Bilal, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It is not AI enabled. Okay. So, so guys, for all the participants, there is a poll which is there. Please respond on the poll. Mukesh sir, I would like to know your views also on this. This is an interesting thing.
Yeah, of course. So yes, and no to both views there are. Yes, is AI going to manage everything 100%? I don't agree. But yes, if the L&D team is not adopting AI into its ways of working, then I think they will be missing the bus. And I'd like to quote some examples. I'm being like, Shiva and Rajat being putting hands on to adopting AI, observing AI into specifically the learning management system. So to kind of quote some examples there, um, if you look at some powerful learning management systems, and some of them I have personally experienced, and I'll quote them here. I'm not here to voice for any particular product or a vendor. Please don't misunderstand me that I'm speaking on behalf of somebody. All views are personal and neutral. So when I experienced this platform called Dgrid, uh, it actually generates content specifically to a user. So in fact, even before you get onboarded to the platform, it asks you to create your profile. And when you create your profile, it will ask you how many years of experience do you have, what is your role, what are your key competencies, what is your proficiency level. And in case you don't know the proficiency level, it can expose some assessment tools to it and say, okay, you are currently at competency 3 or competency 2 or a competency 5. And if your role demands you to be a higher proficiency level, then it recommends the learning programs to you automatically. It's not driven by any L&D effort. So just an example, Vilal, if you have a higher proficiency level and I have a lower proficiency level, kind of learning maps or the learning path exposed to me, let's say for a particular topic called Java, will be different for both of us. Because you already know certain level of Java and I possibly am just at a beginner level. This is not a learning path created by any L&D professional. This is recommended by a learning management system. So I'm just giving a small example, but I respect the view that Shiva and Rajat are saying. Have we reached the 100% maturity level? Possibly not. We still need an L&D person to manage quite a few complex things. These are simpler ones which are working. If people have tried a learning portal called Duolingo, it's a free platform. I think if you want to learn any language, Japanese, French, Germany, it offers all these courses free. And hundreds and thousands of learners are hooked onto it. It's a free learning platform. And each learner is learning the same language at their own pace. I think, again, it's very customized focus area of teaching only a language, and a lot of AI power is what I can experience when I learn on the Duolingo platform. So that's my take and view on that. 100% agree. In today's scheme of things, an L&D professional should understand the power of AI, possibly not already integrated into the system, possibly sitting outside it, use third-party tools like content creator AI tools. So you give a script and it converts it into a podcast for you. And then you as an L&D professional take that and put it on the LMS system and publish it. So it's working in the hybrid mode, I would say right now, if that helps give a view from my side.
Great. So it is giving an hybrid view. Okay. Akansha, I can see that you have raised your hand. I would request you to please put your question in the chat. We would definitely address it. Okay. And because slowly, gradually, when we move into the things, maybe possible that you would be getting the answer to your question also. Okay. We are at a very initial stage right now. Okay. So coming to the next question. Next question, Rajat, I would like to ask you. Rajat, recently, I might have heard it recently, you might have heard it earlier also, okay? But we have heard a buzzword in the market coming up, people started talking about adaptive learning. Okay, adaptive learning. You want to get into that adaptive learning model and we want to put across, how is it good or better than the old school method of teaching, or what exactly is adaptive learning? Can you put some light on that?
Sure. So exactly connected to what Mukesh was sharing, the Duolingo. The Duolingo is a perfect example of adaptive learning. And as L&D professionals, all of us have been having these conversations with the business heads that we need personalized learning journeys, we need personalized learning paths. But that has never been the reality. What has been the reality is that whenever we are evolving as an organization, we always first look at the important roles that needs to be the maximum coverage. So that is how we will create the learning paths. When we become a little better, then we say, okay, now we look at people who are hypos. Because they are hypos, they are very important for the business. So let's now give them IDPs. And that's where we have been doing adaptive learning. But now when you look at AI is really helping us do that adaptive learning. So if you have an LMS, you have an LXP, even you can do your adaptive learning through YouTube. So you go to YouTube and you just type a subject. It will start giving you those content, and what you click on, where you click on in the video, it will give you the next video connected to that. So that is adaptive learning. And that is something which is again the future. Why? because of the individuals. See, the millennials that we were taught in the classrooms and we were happy with that. But again, I go back to COVID and all the children who have gone through their schooling, and some people did their MBA, some people did their law, everything through online. People have got into that thing where they don't want to sit in the classroom and listen to somebody. They want that freedom. So AI gives you that freedom to do your learning whenever you want, and also do it as per your needs. So we again, as learning professionals, talk about three different types of learners: V, A, and K, right? And as a content creator, we had to ensure that, because using Bloom's taxonomy, we ensure that V, A, and K, everything is being addressed. Now, when you go to an adaptive learning platform, if you are a V learner, you will only get V content. If you are an A, you will get only A. And if you are a K, you will get only K. So that is how adaptive learning and I actually look at it as an evolution. If you remember early 90s when the MOOCs started coming in, it came, but it came with a problem. When the MOOCs were there was so much of content. We did not know what to do with it. And that is where you had to get the curation. Now, when the curation is being done, you couldn't do it in manually. That's when AI stepped in. And now, when the AI is there, even now, AI is again supervised AI learning, is what we call it. You have to give it the right instruction and then it curates the content. So, Mukesh, about Degreed, I also agree with you. Degreed, I have also experienced them, and they are out of their way because they're algo. Everything is an algo, and which is AI. So that is where your adaptive learning is absolutely in sync with AI. So that's my view.
Great. So, Rajat, Mukesh, and Shiva, I think things are moving from that one size fits for all to perfectly matching size things for each and every, because every learner is not same. Every learner's capabilities or the work area is not same. So based on that, things are happening. Okay. I would like to, have an understanding from your end, because many organizations, any of you may answer this. Many organizations, okay, are there who are not using LXPs or not using the advancement of the systems which are there. How things are going to be added up? They would be following a different method. Have you came across certain things? Any one of you?
I can take that.
Yes, yes,
Bilal.
sir.
Yeah, sure. So yes, the easier part is to replace the existing traditional LMS with a new AI powered LMS, or the in between option is put a LXP wrapper on top of your old LMS. But I think both of them are, I think, expensive, will require a lot of approvals and decisions from management. Uh, so I would recommend a shortcut to it. And these are, tips and tricks which most of the L&D professionals keep using. So there are tools sitting outside in the common world, which can be leveraged to create the content, or help create learning paths specific to a user, and then keep pushing it on the LMS manually. So that's exactly what I was trying to hint, saying currently the most popular way of providing learning is the hybrid method. We are not connecting an algorithm directly using an API into our existing learning management system. Maybe the existing LMS is old and doesn't have those capabilities, or even investing into a third-party developer and asking them to curate and plug in and connect some of these into the learning management system may not be the most easiest and effective way. So just to give you an example here, so there is a separate third-party tool outside called as Monkey Learn. What does Monkey Learn do? It asks you to take a dump of, let's say, all the feedback you got from a particular learning program which you hosted on your LMS. Just for the sake of simplicity, it's Java programming. And you have hundreds of learners who have hooked onto it, and they are giving some feedback. It's good, not good, or whatever. So you can capture that and take that raw data, maybe a notepad file, and put it on Monkey Learn, and it will give you a perfect sentiment analysis. Humanly analyzing different lines of text, whether you put it on Excel and do some pivoting out of it, is very cumbersome because everybody has a different way of writing feedback. Sometimes even a small spelling here and there will not help you draw the right uh, analysis out of it. Some will put very space good, some says very good, some says very hyphenated good. So I'm kind of just trying to tell you it's difficult to do it without an AI. But these tools will do the sentiment analysis and tell you whether your user is actually liking it, not liking it. And then it gives you an opportunity to manually tweak the learning program and relaunch it. So this is just an example. I personally take help of such tools. I am not on a LMS which is 100% AI powered, but these tools sitting outside do help me. That's my take on it, Vilal.
Well, thank you very much, sir. We have interesting poll coming up. A lot of people planning to go for adaptive learning. A lot of people are using adaptive learning. Okay, interesting poll which is coming up. Earlier, I put a poll that was like AI, how the things would be. Maximum people said that yes, this is the future is superb. Everything is going to go on to AI. So it's actually helping me out that people are getting it into the move. So, Shiva, I'm coming to you for the next question. Okay, we all recognize the importance of content, and you have already told, it is a backbone to any training when we talk about content creation, when we talk about the content of that. Okay, it is a backbone to the any learning experience that we are supposed to get it. Now, since AI is there in the dawn, okay, how the game changing thing is happening, could you walk us through that, how AI is revolutionizing the aspect of content creation, how it is changing the model of content creation? I would like to know it from a from an end, from where uh, a new person who is to AI, how the person should look at it and understand it. We would like to have an understanding from you, Shiva, on that.
There is a thin line difference between an LPP, LXP, and AI. LPP and LXP normally uses AI ML algorithms. AI is using personalized algorithms basis on your feedback source, on your selections, on your history, on your behavior for irrespective, right? The difference only, as I said, is when I have MOOC aggregators embedded in an LMS or an LXP, it will still give me content which is external in nature, not tailor suited. That is where the thin line, that is the definition of thin. When you ask, for example, I have gone to organization before implement LMS, by the way, who has implemented LMS on top of that LPP and then an LXP. So, and they have three of the best MOOC aggregators embedded, right? Their adoption percentage is 38%. So that is enough evidence for you how much is the adoption. They're the best in class, let me tell you. They are now on the next path of curated personal learning, which is very specific to their domain, their function, their roles in the organization, which has now, to an extent, also helped them leverage the adoption rate. It is also the subjective factor of push and pull. You offer the best platform of learning to your end users, how much they use it at a self-paced or a non-self-paced. It also depends on them. Unless I know for us learning, if you want to make something and then we drive out of it, you have to make it as mandatory. You are used to map the push and pull if it is non-mandatory, and you see the reality, right? So AI, though I have seen it's so in learning, so for context to learning, AI tools, that AI 2.0 in LMS, which I have looked at, is more in terms of chatbots and a virtual assistant embedded in the system. You ask if this content or if there is anything that is there related to your role and profile, and it again routes you to the LXP curated content library. I have seen the only the API there, right? Which helps you. So the most usage that I've done, and I still want to say that though it is not learning, it's more actually in terms of employee experience where AI helps. Learning and development is still way far to go. If I, as an employee, want to just know what is my past PMS rating 16 years back, it fetches for me. what has been my career development feedback or CDP need 2 years back. It fetches for me, right? So in terms of learning, when you imagine this, what is my learning need for this year? How does it identify? It uses the source data of TNI if I would have entered in my PMS cycle, because there is a source data to it, right? But what I get basis on my competency gap, and it has to be relevant for me. One, second, if it is relevant for me, do I have the push or the pull to even learn that? These so there are multiple probabilities. I think we are still at a very nascent stage, very nascent. AI more maturity still to see. I'm still figuring out. I am the wrong person if you're asking this question. I do not have an answer for this. Still trying to find the ROI there.
Shiva, I
To
think
make content.
when you say this, I always feel that we are still standing on the shore and looking at the
Yeah,
sea of
yeah, yeah.
data
The
which is
the
there.
reality is far. You have ChatGPT now as an open AI tool, which is
Right.
majorly now banned in many organizations. Why? Because the decryption and encryption data is from the source data which is available inside the organization or on a public domain. No, what people now use AI for now. The AI equal to ChatGPT equal to people using it for writing their emails. Right. That is what I've seen AI right now. I've been giving the best ROI for me at least.
Okay. Okay. Rajat, coming back to you, Rajat, you know, like what Shiva has already told, but I would like to have an understanding. AI is being used for content generation. Content generation being a backbone of any training. Okay. What is the impact that you have seen, impact on effectiveness of the trainer, of the training, learning engagement during the training? What kind of effectiveness you have seen when it comes to AI generated contents? Okay,
Sure.
I'm not very specific to the LXPs and LMSs who are generating the content. I'm looking at an area where I'm talking about a custom learning which has came, a demand which has came from the project, and we have started working on it. So we are supposed to do a VILT training or something like that. So how
Sure.
content generation is going to help in that?
Sure. So let me pick it up from where Shiva left it. So he spoke about ChatGPT, and yes, everyone has been using ChatGPT now, and yes, writing emails. So I look at it as a digital assistant for you, and when you look at these content created using AI, so let's take a step back. What is ChatGPT? ChatGPT, as they say, it is a tool which will give you new content from an existing content based on what you ask. So, and that's why it's called predictive engineering and everything. I would say if you are building content using an AI like a chat GPT, the impact or the effectiveness of that initiative will definitely be higher. I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying that. So, a lot of times, while we are identifying a learning need and then developing the content, who develops the content? The content is developed by the subject matter expert. Now, the subject matter expert, when that person is developing that content, the content will be developed based on the knowledge of that particular subject matter expert. Now, that subject matter expert, uh, let's say something like a Java, or maybe something like a sales training skills, or maybe something to do with a language, will be limited to the knowledge that that individual has. Now, when you look at a tool like a Chat GPT or a Bard or Copilots or whatever, what is happening there is, in addition to the knowledge of the subject matter expert, the knowledge from the worldwide universe is also getting added in that content creation. So the quality of the content which is coming out using an AI will be much more higher in the form of effectiveness. It will be clearer and better in the form of the explanation of concepts, because otherwise the content is created based on what the person knows or what the business thinks. But if you are using a AI tool, you will have a holistic thing. And I'm sure all of us who are there on the call today, also as L&D and even HR, we are also using the Chat GPT for building the initial structure for your programs. What is it is helping us do is basically become more efficient and become and do more in lesser time. See, some people write very well, but some people it doesn't come to them that naturally, and they used to spend so much time just writing something. But now with the thing being done through a thing like ChatGPT, you save a lot of time. So, so I'm glad Shiva picked up the point on the ChatGPT because everybody is talking about it, and and people have been sharing so much about AI and ChatGPT. The first ChatGPT, first version of ChatGPT was actually Google Translate. If you look at it, it was the first AI thing. Second was your Siri, and the third is your Open AI. Just to give you an example, Google Translate took 70 months to get 100 million followers, and your Chat GPT took 2 months to get 100 million followers. That is the reason everybody is talking AI, AI, AI. So that is the impact of a thing like a chat GPT.
Superb. One thing which is open to all of you, all three of you, Chat GPT is one thing which we all have heard about, and many people are following it. It has become, very common, like Google. Okay, but there are other tools also, like Bard is one of them. Okay, Copilot is things. Okay, can you share, something where you have also started exploring things, Mukesh, Shiva, or Rajat, any one of you?
Not in space of learning and development, but yes, then I'm currently exploring. So we are creating in the not in the beta version stage where we are training the AIML to respond to queries of employees based on our source data. So in my previous organization, we were able to do this. We started with PMS and your CDP for basis on your TNI, not too full-fledged for learning and development right now. In the stage for using, we are in the phase 2 for using the AML chatbot and to train on queries related to learning, but not full stated as of now. I think the AI that the AI ML 2.0, which is two LMSs that I have explored, is morely again source data driven. So the only difference that I see is in terms of technical, to very specific. So example, technical being examples in the IT space, Java.NET, or in terms of a different manufacturing, a specific function, there the AI ML works perfectly. If I look at Java, then JavaScript 2.0 and level 1, level 2, level 3 works perfectly because it is clear. What is level 2? The either organization defines or the learning and development team defines what is level 1, what is level 2, what is level 3. And similarly for specific functions and roles, not particularly tool tailor made, where tailor made would be more applicable in more in terms of behavioral, cognitive, subjective, that I have not seen. I'm not still able to figure out how we can do that. But technically it works. Even if you do not have an AIML engine built in, you custom the LMS to curate or take content from an existing content library also. So yeah, very beta stage. Very, very, very beta
The
stage.
very beta stage. Okay, that's Shiva's experience. Mukesh sir, any such tools that you have used?
I would say we are mostly doing things with the Chat GPT because it's very popular and kind of become a second part to everything that we do in the L&D space. For me, and purely because we are mostly into technological content, it's more than just supporting us for writing emails. Uh, Technology and newer tools are just kind of popping up every day and mushrooming around all of us. Does my L&D team have the capability to devise a table of contents and do a training program around it? Possibly no. And that's where me and on my entire team take help from ChatGPT saying, okay, what should we teach in a topic X? And ChatGPT comes to our rescue and say, okay, these are some high-level bullet points. We go back with an intelligent discussion with the business saying, this is what we feel you should cover in the program, let's say Bamboo. And they say, no, no, I think these 2 points are relevant. The other 3 you can skip. So the business also appreciates that, yes, we are using some kind of intelligence coming to them rather than going with a blank slate saying, OK, we don't know what is Bamboo and what do you think we should cover? So that puts slightly us in the back foot and we don't want to do that. Covering on your point on tools outside of ChatGPT, I have seen some videos on the Microsoft Learning Copilot. I really liked the power that it has. If it is okay, possibly now or possibly later, Vilal, I have a 30-second video which actually shows a power of Microsoft Copilot. So whenever you want, I can quickly share my screen and play that for you. Is it
Sir,
okay to
we
play
can see
now?
it now also. We can do it now also. You can share the screen. You would love to see.
Okay, okay. Just give me 1 second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. I'm not sure if I've shared the audio part of it. Just give me 1 second. I have to
Yeah,
click
yes, sir.
on share audio also.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, just doing that. Otherwise, audio won't reach you guys. It's playing. Is the
Yeah,
audio
audio is
reaching?
also coming.
So I'm impressed with this Microsoft Copilot, feature. I'm sure it's slightly hyped, but I'm very sure, if not immediately, this is going to be a reality for all the content creators. All you have to do is put the right prompt, saying create a lesson plan for advanced Java or create a lesson plan for Spring Boot, and the content is available to you. That's my take on that, Vilal.
Exactly, sir. The word is prompt. Okay, because it's the right prompt which you have to actually give. Rajat, coming to you for that. It's the same. Exactly, the prompt word is very much clear because people have started moving around prompt engineering. Okay, Rajat, coming to you, please.
Yeah, so coming to the same point, absolutely, Mukesh. So I am also a firm believer of the co-pilot. So because as Shiva was talking about ChatGPT not being allowed in the organization, and you also spoke about it, because it is Microsoft, you are able to utilize Microsoft more. So it takes care of that aspect. And more than the prompt, it has become predictive. So another thing which has come out about ChatGPT is that, there was a time when English was a language and it was very important. Then came a time when coding became very important. Now, again, it's all about writing the right words. So, again, as L&D, we all used to use Google, right? Initially to build our content, do our research. It was actually a skill set that what you put in that Google search bar is what will give you the output. And it's exactly the same thing with ChatGPT or any of these LLMs, as we call them. It's about putting the right thing because the ChatGPT or these LLMs, as we call them, have been built on what? These are large language models, large learning models. So they have learned like one, two, three, four was the complete thing. When they built the model, they left one and two and they removed three and four. So probability after two is three, right? So that's how the model learned. So that is why it is mostly about putting the right words. So writing this right thing in that box is what will get you that output. And that is why you will only, that's why everyone else is getting a different output. When I was talking about the content building also, so somebody will have a limited knowledge about that particular subject. Like Mukesh was talking, definitely when we want to go to business, we want to talk business, talking the language of business. We just don't want to go and just say, okay, we are here, you tell us what the training you want. So this chat GPT is like our digital assistant. ChatGPT is helping us become more efficient. Like I said, I cannot stress upon more. It is also the future of L&D. See, a lot of organizations, learning functions, because they are cost centers, they are always very lean. You have to do more with lesser people. And that's again where your chat GPT comes to play. You can do so much. So what we are doing is that we are using ChatGPT, Copilot. We use it for analysis. So we take the entire sheets of our attendance records or our feedback forms and put it to ChatGPT. It gives you analysis also, and it is a plugin which is available for Excel. If you have that plugin enabled, you actually don't need an MIS person in your team. We all have this MIS person, and the biggest challenge we have is to explain the person what is the output I'm looking for. That person will give you five outputs, and then you'll be like, okay, I'll show you. This is the sheet, this is the table. I want these columns, I want this data to be populated. So your chat GPT will help you take care of that headache. So that is the
Ra-
plugin that has come
Rajat,
in.
I can't stop myself saying that the prompting has changed now.
Yes,
You, you prompting to that person that this is how the things are supposed to be has
exactly.
changed
So
now onto a text box.
exactly, because these LLMs are also neural network, right? Neural is
Yeah,
what the same network that we have our in brains is
correct,
what these LLMs also have, and that's why think like us. They why we find what is written over there as logical is because it is based on the same logics on which we work as humans. So that is why the predictive engineering or prompt engineering, there are courses. So just to share, I did a
correct.
course online from one of these AI organizations when they had just launched. So they were giving this free course. I did that course to
Okay.
understand predictive engineering. I am a non-technological background person, so
Mhm.
I thought, let me learn that. But I learned that I just have to say the right words to it. It's like uh, you have seen that some of us were kids. So shakalaka boom boom, the magic
Yeah,
pencil.
yeah,
So if you don't draw the right thing, you will not get the right output. Predictive
exactly,
engineering is the same thing. So just
exactly.
thought of sharing that.
Great, great, great. That's really nice of you explaining the thing. It's very nice, nicely been explained. So we have came to a place where we are moving into the ethicality. ChatGPT is not allowed. Okay, that will not work out. LMSs are there. We cannot share our data. There are a lot of things. Okay, Mukesh sir, I'll come to you now. Okay, can you just help us to understand, ethical implications that can come in AI usage in training and development itself?
Sure, I'll give my point of view on ethical, usage of AI. I think at a high level, AI is like any other computing field. So it's a garbage in, garbage out. It's more human dependent rather than blaming completely on AI, saying AI is unethical. The second umbrella, word that I want to use is uh, everything that we do with any kind of technology has to be in favor of humanity, in favor of nature, non-destructive, etc. So I'm not going to speak on those because those are the given set of things. That's the basics of anything that we do with technology. Coming to specifically AI and its ethical use, uh, the most talked about point with AI is, are people going to lose jobs? Yes, there is a lot of power that AI can be used to automate repetitive and non kind of interesting work. Uh, and I think yes, those jobs will go. But having said that, the ethical part is we as L&D professionals should take up this responsibility to upskill those people whose jobs are currently engaged in doing repetitive work, upskill them to do more intelligent and innovative work. I think that's our ethical responsibilities. Otherwise, if we leave them where they are, AI definitely is going to take over those mundane and repetitive jobs, and it will lead to some kind of job losses. Uh, but there are quite a few newer jobs required in the market. In fact, knowledge of AI itself is one of the most demanding skills in the industry. We need more and more people who should know, AI, ML, various algorithms. Forget that. Every individual should know a little bit of AI for sure. So I say for learning and development professionals, teaching AI is two components. One is teaching AI to the professionals who actually write these co-pilot things or write these algorithms and do a lot of coding. Two is L&D team is also responsible for teaching the general people, or what we also call as decision makers, to know a little bit of AI. Again, I'm not popularizing or speaking in favor of anybody, but Coursera offers free courses, and there are courses like generative AI for everybody, AI for everyone, and tons of courses like this which are available free for everybody. And I think we as L&D professionals should encourage people to participate, understand, and take away that negative ethical implication saying AI is going to take up jobs. It's not here to do that. The second part of ethical use of AI from my perspective is AI relies on a lot of back data. Uh, Everything that AI does is what is your training set, how large it is, and analyzes that and takes decisions. It is we who are responsible at times to provide this data set. Now, if we use unethical ways of sourcing that data and providing it to AI, I think then we are to be blamed rather than AI to be blamed for being anything unethical. These are two pointers I wanted to share, Vilal. Otherwise, it's a technology like electricity. Yes, it can create a fire, it can create a spark. Now, that's not going to stop any one of us from using electricity. And same way, it's not going to stop us from using AI. There has to be a safety measure. There has to be an education on the right ways of using AI and using it for a positive purpose. That's my take.
Exactly correct. And when you were saying, you're talking about the AI part of it, like the acceptance and the future which is going to come down. I'm seriously able to recollect the things what India faced when computer was initially being introduced. Okay, I'm certainly feeling very old, but I'm not. Okay, so people started used to say that don't bring in computers. People are gonna lose their jobs and all. Today, I can see the people who did strike are working on computers. By the way, okay, so that's the irony of it. And I somewhere feel the same thing for artificial intelligence. The acceptance which is going to come, it's human. We take up changes very not very easily. Okay, we take changes, but it's not very easy to adopt the changes which are there. So I can feel that things which are going on. And the most important thing that you rightly said is the data is ours. How we are supposed to share it, where we are supposed to share it, is something where the ethicality comes to us, that how to do that. It has to be done or it is not supposed to be done. Even when you are building your own large language model within the organization, what is supposed to be shared and what is not supposed to be shared is your choice and your take that it should go or it should not go. Okay.
We think alike, Vilal. In fact, last week I was on another forum and sharing some examples on this, and I give exactly the same example, saying way back in 1980s when personal computers became popular, people said half of the jobs will be lost, and nothing great happened immediately. And then second wave came, and then they said, a lot of cloud computing is there, and another half of the jobs will go. But I think we have surpassed all of it.
All of it, truly
All
all
that
of
we
it.
have seen is people have learned to live with it and adopted that part of technology change. And I think same is going to happen with AI. AI will need to get adopted by all of us and has to become a part of our life.
Correct. Coming to the next question. Rajat, I would like to, ask this question to you. Okay. Rajat, what is your view? Okay. Which areas of learning and development? Because there are multiple areas when we talk about learning and development itself. Which areas of learning and development do you believe will encounter the greatest obstacles in adopting AI?
Okay, so if I talk about which areas, so only those areas which will be regulated or which are governed by certain regulations are the ones which will have a challenge, because that is something that you cannot change. But
Mhm.
every other aspect of learning and development, be it learning delivery, be it planning of your learning logistics, be it MIS management, be it content development, be it the TNI, be it the skill gap analysis, be it what you call about leadership development journeys, be it the personalization of the journeys, anything and everything will have to adopt to AI. So the only people who will face a challenge are the ones who are not open to change. They are the only ones who will face that challenge. You were talking about the example of the banks. I remember 1990s when the computers came in and people had that thing that we will not work, it will take away the jobs. But again, the principle of AI is actually can be explained very well with a very simple concept called as Moravec paradox. I don't know if people are aware about that. So Moravec paradox says that anything that the humans do, which is simple, is something that the machines will never be able to do. So when a 2-year-old baby starts to trying to sit, nobody told him or her that he has to sit or he has to go and pick up that block. If a machine has to do this thing, the developer has to write 500 different coding programs, one for every act, and then there is also probability. But AI, that is why AI will never be able to replace the human. So Mukesh was talking about it. When you look at the usage of AI in medical fields today, there are surgeons, heart surgeons, and there are specialists who use robotic arms to do the surgery. So there is automation happening, right? But it is not that the surgeon is saying, okay, I'm sitting in front of the screen, okay, you do the surgery. So everything is being done by the individual. So the only people who will face a challenge are the ones who are not open to change. And I don't think that is the case. Even when you talk about technology, when mobile phones came in, now everyone has a mobile phone. Even a 70-year-old lady who is not very technology savvy, she knows how to use the phone. She knows how to send a WhatsApp. She knows how to post
Right.
on a Facebook. So adoption is there. So what I'm trying to say is there is not a choice. You have to adopt. Like I said, this is industry 4.0. This is the change. You have to change.
Correct.
Otherwise, you will not survive. You will be completely left back. Like I said in the beginning, you will miss the bus.
Yeah.
So in the L&D domain, if somebody is not utilizing this, then they are definitely missing. The learners will come back and tell us, because what has happened, our learners' profiles have changed. We used to teach millennials. Now,
Mm.
majorly what we are teaching is Gen Z.
Gen Z.
And if you are not using AI and technology, you are not in their aspirational. They would not even want to come for your program. So that is why there has to be adoption of AI.
True,
So
true,
just
true,
wanted to talk about that.
true, Rajat. Thanks, Rajat. Thanks for that insight, and it is absolutely correct. Adoption is required, and this kind of adoption with respect to, the generation to whom we are training and to whom the things are happening, it comes up like, it is required. Shiva, if you are saying something, I think you're on mute.
No, I'm not. I was just actually
Acha, okay. So
somebody
Shiva,
just
I
came in.
think because of the bandwidth that you mentioned it earlier, you just switched off the video,
Yeah, I
right?
switched off my camera, but I was definitely here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Fine. Shiva, coming to you, I would like to get an understanding from you that, it's a dynamic landscape that we have it in learning and development. Could you illuminate us on the opportunities the organizations have to leverage in, AI in addressing skill gaps, personalized learning experience, and enhanced employee engagement and retention? How it can help? Can there be the areas which can be defined that skill gap can be done by this or
The
personalized learning
one that
experience?
worked in a deployment mode, since this question
Hmm.
is not specific to learning, what worked for us in the deployment mode is
Yeah.
very specific because it's a practical application. That is why I'm telling there may be hundreds of application, and it worked for a bit is because if you have an employee resigning, the organization has a policy of connecting with the employee on paper within 10 days, which does not happen, right? So then you see he has a 90 days and you end up connecting with him at 70, 80 days, and then he's already on the verge of moving out. So what worked on are the engine that I was training, we were training on along with the IT team. So we were work very tandem as a in business partnership more with the IT, IoT team, right? So the questions that we trained the bot were more on, pinning or pinpointing in terms of what is the trigger for leaving, right? So the psychometric I have one opened on the left hand would be more inclined to a manager. The second retrospective question would be more in terms of if he has a problem with respect to his role, or third, work environment, fourth, and vice versa. So there are not too many questions that get becomes irritated. The chatbot questions and pinpoints in such a way that the it stays anonymous and then you get it. But what happens is this is auto workflow generated. This again it's in the LMS. You don't need a chatbot to do it. It is in the auto workflow. You can design this, custom it, and then it flows as per the HRIS expected date of severance. It flows on the not date of severance, date of resignation. It flows in 1 day only. In that, what happens is we get exported data in terms of his subjective response, qualitative response, quantitative response, and I immediately in a week forwarded to his line of business and the HR head, for example, who's my boss. So I have seen it to an extent because it helps leverage. Now this is where AI has helped it. It helped me to leverage decisions faster, or if I need to take a decision with respect to the candidate staying back, right? If it is in terms of comp or is in terms of this. The second beta engine that we're training them is if there is a particular question of comp and if his expectation is this comp, right? Then I have the percentile of the comp in that particular BU already in ready with me in terms of a virtual card when the HR head or the comp head sees it. Very complex, very complex again in beta phase. But this is how I'll make faster decision in very basic phase right now. What is helping me is I do not connect with the employee at the 89th day or 90 days of notice. I connect for 1 day, at least in a week, I'm able that this feedback reaches the LOB, reaches the HR head to make a decision, right? That it is helping reduce the that time in terms of in terms of employee retention. That is where actually it has helped me a lot.
It has helped. Okay.
Yeah, because the questions are more personal. The bot is trained that way. We have trained it and it becomes more personal. Not in an ideal organization right now where we also have it, you have an exit interview form or you have an HR Spock who just calls you and tells you this is a problem, what do you expect, and right. So you're the third. Okay, now the third beta phase is then you put it as part of a system. So you have these inputs, then you have two bottom line points where you have one action by the LOB, suggested action by the LOB, and suggested action by the HR head, right? So then and it forces as an auto reminder to them also that the action if needs to be taken for this employee with the respect to the expectation is a little bit faster. So at the 15th day or the 20th day, right now it is 20th day that we have been able to do that
Okay,
we are
so you
able
have
to take a
brought
call.
from 90 days to
Yeah, 89 days to 28 days. We are now at least at the stage where no, we are not the third phase. I'm saying that is the आइडियल ऑब्जेक्टिव अभी तो 20 days मैनुअल में चल रहा है मैनुअल में हम लोग करा रहे हैं but still that requires my resource availability. The resource not being only the person who does it, then he needs to reach the LOB unavailability. Here everything is system driven, no?
system
The third
driven,
phase
yes.
will remind the LOB to take a inform call. When he submits that action will goes to the second level, that is HR, and it reminds every week to the HR to take a call. Now in that case the ROI here is lead time reduction and employee retention. Right, but it is very personal and specific. So this is real time application.
Great. Anything, Shiva, on the beta stage of skill gap analysis or personalized
The
learning
skill
part?
gap analysis I have not used. What I have done is so some is if I have a what I have done is I have done the opposite. We have not mapped competency for a role. We have created a standard JD and carry for a role, right? Then similarly, then you go to the personal profile choice for the employee, and we do not go by that. Then we get it validated by the L+1. Now that is not on the system, which has to be done. You have a profile analysis in terms of functional and technical competencies, and that skill you don't need even an LXP. You can do it on your LMS also in the form of a journey, and that content gets delivered. Now the best of content again, as I told, technologically it is available. Technically it is available to the employees. And I see very good in a very structured way that AI is able to calibrate that or curate that from the existing content library plus the SME expert library that we have and push it to the user. The adoption, pathetic.
Okay, fine. That's cool. Okay, fine. I sincerely feel that the things are good, but there is a lot of testing. There is a lot of thing. Whenever I talk to Shiva, I can realize that we are standing at the shore, looking at the sea. Okay, there are a lot of things that are supposed to be explored itself. Okay, one thing that I would like to ask Mukesh sir. Mukesh sir, there are organizations who are very much into virtual instructor-led trainings and somewhere instructor-led trainings also nowadays. Okay, because we are moving out of that culture of work from home, coming in office and doing the things. So ILTs are also coming up. How do organizations navigate the complexity of integrating AI into the existing learning systems that we are talking about? I know that you have addressed it earlier by giving a wrapper and doing it, but I'm here specific when it comes to ILTs, VILT trainings. How and what can be leveraged over there with AI, implementation of AI, how it could be?
Yeah, very right and valid question. It's not that artificial intelligence powered LMSs will do away with the need of an instructor and therefore an instructor-led training. I think COVID was one such time where everybody was kind of pushed and forced to learn using some of the learning platforms. However, VILT was still very popular because instructor-led training was just not possible because human-to-human interface was restricted. I think it is good to have a mix of both the worlds, and this is what we are also strongly using. So there's no switch on and a switch off. AI is switched on, therefore all instructor-led trainings are not available. Or when it is switched off, then only instructor-led trainings are possible. It is a hybrid or what we call it as a gray area, and there are different shades of gray that suits every organization. To give some concrete examples to what I'm saying, I think L&D teams, L&D instructors need to adopt to AI. And I think I've said this earlier as well, to make AI as an additional helping hand to make their instructor-led trainings, whether it is face-to-face or VILT, more engaging and more relevant to the users. So to give some examples, I'm teaching a concept on, let's say, behavioral tool like negotiation skills. Is there a good video that I can add to my learning content? I think AI can suggest some good, video options for me. I'm teaching actually the same topic. Can I give a pre-work to my learners so that when they come to the class, I know the takeoff level for all of them, or the basic jargons or the basic understanding is same for all of them. I think again, content creation tools, content curation tools, AI-enabled learning maps can help me as an instructor pack these objects and then deliver it to my learner. So different topics can have different percentage of AI embedded into the instructor way of learning. I think the more we practice, the more we become better at it. Even to the extent of giving a case study. I cannot be using the case study 3 times, 4 times for the same topic. This is different. I think I need to challenge my own creativity, and therefore I can ask a chat GPT, can you give me 2 new use cases for argument resolution? And it can give me a case study around it. That brings a lot of innovative and newer experiences to the class. To sum up your point, Vilal, I think yes, instructor-led training, whether it is face-to-face or you call it as VILT, I think are here to stay. It's not going to fade away and disappear, even if AI develops and grows even further. But yes, our instructors should use this as tools like the way we use PowerPoint before I get into the class, or take a sample Excel sheet if I'm teaching a Excel session saying this is the raw data and we will use it. They need to use AI as an enabler to get into and make this a part of learning. That's my take, Vilal.
Exactly, sir. Bang on that particular area because instructors who are going to come down. It's not only about the learning and development team who is taking care of the training activities, and it's also the instructor who is going to come down. If they are using AI for getting better examples, like the example that you gave us, giving better example, using AI as a tool, like as you rightly mentioned it, how we used PowerPoint, how we use some other tools to deliver the training. If we are using AI as a tool so that it can assist you to build the curriculum in a better way, okay, I think that's the best thing that we can have. Great, great. There are some questions also, which I can see that, Mukesh sir, you have answered it also, and I can see certain other answers also. I would ask my audience, okay, to come up and ask questions. uh, I'm keeping the things open to all of you, okay, so that you can ask questions because we are at the last stage of our discussion. You can enable your mic. If you're not able to enable your mic, please put it on the chat. I'll help you to enable the mic if you don't have
Hi,
permissions.
am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Hi, I'm Srinivas.
Hi, Srinivas.
Thank you. Thank you for interesting interaction. Well, it's amazing to know how technology is changing the experience of learner and thereby changing the profession of L&D professionals also. Uh, what the panel feels because of this, would our current traditional orthodox regular methodology of enabling skill development, like putting people through workshop using other methodologies, would reduce to bare minimum, if everything is online, or would the hybrid continue? What's the view? And even if hybrid continues, what proportion you feel? I think my curiosity is more to see what proportion.
I can give my views, and of course,
Sure.
my co-panelists can add on to it. I think experiential based learning, I think the way you said workshop based learning, I don't think can ever be replaced by an AI. Yes, people are talking of 3D and other more versions like using an AR VR technology where you can simulate a workshop. And I've seen videos, I haven't seen them in person, that you are into a coal mine and how do you take care of safety measures. So you don't have to go to a coal mine to learn that. You can actually do that sitting at in a classroom using AR VR headset. And we have also seen some flight simulators, so you don't have to actually take a flight and then practice learning in an actual flight. You can use a flight simulator. Yeah, barring those examples, I think for the traditional L&D, I think the best form of learning is experiential based learning, where the learner is immersed and having a real life experience and gaining that knowledge. It makes it more and more easier and relatable when he goes out of the training room into the real world, because the environment remains the same. So my take on this is what we do to AI. Experiential based, workshop based learning will continue to remain at its pace and might grow as and when technology even supports that. That's my answer. But Rajat and Shiva, feel free to add even if you have different points of view.
I think won't diminish, because when you say AI, everything that gets into feed it as a source data is done by human. So that element will never abolish. In terms of proportion, when you asked me to propose, you asked us to, give weightage in terms of experiential or behavioral. No, that let each is own organization. Behavioral, I would still suggest the most by data driven about data analytics, all public source domain, data available, evidence available. Behavioral training is always supposed to be physical. I don't see that there is any. How does it? How do you make an impact, or there is a change if there is no human touch to a behavioral, or a more qualitative training? Technology, yes, but it has its own it has its own questions. It has its own permutations and combinations. If you are a basic or a level one, then you would suggest, or for a mass audience, you would take it online. But then what follows through for a training to be actually meaningful or impactful is also evaluation, assessments, and to a limited also extent, you have to also understand the human context of focus. If I'm in an online training, no, I will not be. Me personally, I will not be able to focus more than 40 minutes, right? Vis-a-vis a trainer in front of me, pushing me to giving me an assessment, reviewing it, making me practice on a simulation. Now, these two things can be done on the LMS also or a learning also, but then you have an element sitting right there in real time to help you, and then your focus is on that particular, training content or the content which is being taught to you more is what I feel. So a lot of permutations and combinations. If you go, the depth is larger, right? So no particular weightage, depends on the kind of trip in training, depends on kind of the role, kind of the function, kind of the audience. That's how maybe we can configure more personalized training. Yeah.
I can just add, so Srinivas, it will actually be coexistence. Uh, the reason AI is not being utilized so much in a very large scale is because it is expensive. So, referring to Mukesh's example of AR, VR, so there are organizations, there is something called as an Oculus VR, right? The Oculus VR itself costs 38,000 rupees. And if you were to do an initiative where you want 10 people to wear that Oculus, your minimum cost is 4 lakh rupees only for that devices. But there is going to come a time, and which is also coming soon, Srinivas, when any initiative, so let's say you are doing a sales initiative and you've done the concept maybe in a classroom. Now we always used to do role plays in the earlier times when the trainer used to call the person, come and sit in front of the group. That thing can be done using AI. You can maybe create a simulation using a VR, or maybe there can be some technology coming in the future where you sitting, you create that environment. Because I remember when I was in the ILT domain, the biggest challenge that you have with role plays, people never perform good in a role play. You know why? Because of the nature of or the behavior. When the people know that everybody is looking at me, even if somebody is a good salesperson, they falter. And the exact purpose of that role play is defeated. So that is why I believe that AI and the old school, as we say, ILT, is going to coexist. And as the times grow, this technology is going to become very economically viable. And then everybody will start utilizing it. Right now, it is being utilized only for high end and high impact initiatives. But in the times to come, it will be utilized for a larger number of initiatives. So that's my view on the existence of ILT with AI.
Thank you, Mukesh, Shiva, Rajat. Great.
Great.
Awesome.
Srinivas has already acknowledged it. We have some questions also coming up from Saket Kulkarni. How can L&D leverage AI in learning analytics for decision making? Any suggestions on which tools can be used, excluding uh, ChatGPT, Gemini, maintaining the data security aspect of it? I think Rajat had already given an example of Copilot over here, where you have extensions of Copilot coming in Excel. I'm sorry, I'm giving the answer. That's not true. That's not
So
correct.
I don't know. That was actually Chat GPT. So
Okay.
definitely, Saket, what you can also do is, I think another tool that I use a lot, which is very good, is Power BI. So you take your Excel documents and you feed them into a Power BI. The kind of insights that you can build on a Power BI from your Excel sheet itself is much different from what you would do with a pivot. So if you are talking about learning analytics as to what has been the feedback score, or what has been the most consumed content, or whatever is your thing, your Power BI. So what I do again as a practice, Vilal, Mukesh, and Srinivas, is that all my learning data is in an Excel sheet and which I export into a Power BI, and we create dashboards, learning dashboards using Power BI, which are embedded. So when I'm presenting it to my CEO or I'm presenting it to my CXOs, when they ask me that question, I don't have to change the slide. I just go to my Power BI and change one of the filter there, and it changes the entire story. So that is the usage of a non-chat GPT tool for learning analytics. I hope, Saket, I was able to answer your question.
Good. Great. I think, Sachin, you're raising your hand. Uh, Sachin is there. I think Sachin is raising the hand. Yeah, Sachin, you're raising your hand. Anything to say, Sachin? Are you able to unmute yourself? How is it?
Yeah, yeah. Hi, hi.
Hey, hi, Sachin.
Uh, yeah, hi. That was a great conversation, actually. I'm from the L&D team of Neoco Vistas. Okay, it's a cement manufacturing and building material company in Mumbai. Uh, like I just impressed, like as per the as you have discussed the many things related to how the AI is reshaping the L&D. So yeah, I just add on to the register point that yeah, I'm also using the Power BI for the analytics in the L&D department, and that was really great. Like insights coming from that tool. So my question is like that. Uh, uh, do you have any example that you guys have implemented in your organization uh, related to any small activity for the L&D department or for the employees to initiate the like you have implemented any AI things to automate the things or to reshape the L&D things in your organization? So if you can share me, definitely that helps me in my process to or in my business to uh, grow or to develop something new.
So I'll give some point of view, and of course, Rajat and Shiva can also add to it. I think the easiest one to give AI touch to your L&D with existing traditional LMS is quickly add a chatbot feature. And I think that is something which takes away all these mundane queries saying, where do I find the learning management system? Where do I click? Where is this learning? And if it is well integrated with your content provider, and if you have one, so there are many content providers, Udemy, Pluralsight, Coursera, and there are tons of them, and it can point out to the right learning journey if you have curated one. So that's one thing which is running in the organization every day for me. And I think that's something which you can quickly put into action and will give your learners a good learning experience. They will feel that they are empowered to learn, and it's not that they are dependent on the L&D team for any kind of support. So that's one quick short thing from my side for you.
Okay. That's all the session.
Okay, so that has been answered to Sachin. We have one more question from Disha. Disha, is it fine? You can unmute yourself and say or tell this question. What exactly are you pointing towards?
No, so well, thank you so much. So we've said that a lot of our content consumption has moved online, but we agreed that ILTs are here to stay. So in an organization where we are promoting internal knowledge sharing, and we want our internal SMEs to come forward and teach our employees, because there is always an element of domain specific knowledge that can be imparted by the immediate leaders in the group, so that the project delivery obviously improvises, and then you're more in sync to what the leader is expecting, rather than who has a whole different perspective on project delivery. So how do you encourage these SMEs to consistently come forward and teach? Some people are naturally motivated, but how do you keep it across the organization?
Go ahead, Rajat.
Can I take this? So, Disha, a great question, and I'm sure all of us as L&D professionals face this because when it comes to functional learning, you need those SMEs to keep coming in. So, the way that I have done it in my current organization, in my earlier organizations, is very simple. And it's a technology tool we call as gamification. So, while you are getting those trainers to come in, you should take quality feedback, which is on the feedback score, as we say, level one, reaction of the learners. Second, you should do the assessment of every session. Even if it's a small session, there can be 5 questions which are being done. And a good practice will be to do a pre and then do a post. And the third thing is taking both these things, put them into a scorecard and create a leaderboard of all these knowledge trainers and showcase this across the organization. See, because it's all the leaders are always looking for that brownie points, because everybody thinks that when they are delivering these sessions, this is something additional that they are doing. So getting them that spotlight, that is one. Second, if you want, you can run it like a contest, and the top 3 knowledge trainers can be given vouchers or can be given certificates by the CEO for their contribution in knowledge enhancement in the organization. So that's how we create a culture of learning, which is being driven by the SMEs and not by L&D. So that's something that
In
I've done in
addition
multiple
to,
organizations. Yeah,
sorry,
go ahead.
sorry, Rajat.
Go ahead. Go
In
ahead. That's
addition
all
to
I
this,
wanted
we
to
use the
share.
same. In addition to this, we use the same thing, but then we move. This question I think was asked was, then this becomes more of a thing to manage in terms of how to get content or maintain consistency. Not more to do with the L&D professionals. Maybe it is more an indirect way of how we get all this content. So what works for us is, we addition to this, we put in case studies for different businesses. There will always be some businesses who are way too proactive in terms of knowledge transfer or business case usage that they show within their BU, and then we formulate it in such a way that it is communicated organization wide. And then in terms of what we do is, we I have to be very honest in saying this, then we go to a different business and tell that the other business has already done such a lot of things. Look at the number of cases they have done. What is your business doing? Right? Then you have a yard and stick rule applied to it, and then you get your way. This is more, this question becomes more of how do you manage and get your work done, right? But then this thing works, because if you have one view doing this and actually showing leverage and then showing real time, footage or some data to it, or some, it automatically becomes a skew for the other business to compete and move forward. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, definitely. I think it is definitely, it's a way that people follow. Definitely, it is a way that people follow. Okay, great. We are at the end of the session, and I am thrilled with the entire discussion that we had, all the questions that we had, all the discussions that we had. Okay, thank you very much, first of all the panelists. Okay, Mukesh, Rajat, and Shiva, thank you very much for being a part of this entire discussion, because it gave, not only gave insight with respect to the L&D perspective of looking at artificial intelligence, it is also to the general perspective of looking at artificial intelligence, that how it has been adapted, how it has been taken up, and all those areas. Okay, thank you very much for being a part of it. Okay. Hopefully, we will be connecting in other sessions also. Okay. So we are soon coming up with other session. Okay. I'll not announce the name. We will be getting it announced on the social media LinkedIn page itself. Okay. So we'll soon coming with things. Okay. Dealing maybe with AR, maybe with VR, maybe with metaverse, maybe with other things which are there. Okay. I'm just giving you a hint. Okay. So yeah, things will be coming up. Okay.
The
Thank
session,
you.
maybe in the other session, upcoming session, maybe you can also tell the ROI also that people have got using it.
Definitely, yes. That is also a point that we should talk about. Okay.
Uh,
Wait, I'll pass
Absolutely.
on my baton to Toral so that she can close it up. Okay. Thank you very much personally from my end.
Thank you, Vilal. Thank you for this
thank
opportunity.
Oh,
you.
what an amazing session. A lot of takeaways, a lot of insight, I would say. Very amazing session. And I would say, in closing our event, Adapting the Digital Age, how AI is reshaping learning and development initiatives, has been enlightening for everybody. From reimagining learning strategies to leveraging AI, we have uncovered invaluable insights over here. Let's carry forward the spirit for innovation and collaboration and embracing AI for continuous growth. Thank you to the speakers. I would say Mukesh sir, Rajat, Shiva, thank you so much. Thank you, Vilal, for running the show. And thank you, the attendees out here. Thank you so much for being part
Thank
of
you for having
this.
us.
making it successful. So let's thrive in the digital age together, I would say. Happy weekend to
Thanks.
everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Vilal.
you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Rajat.
Toral.
Thanks,
Thank
Shiva.
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Toral. Bye-bye.
Thanks.